Hey guys, fishing for a living outdoors here, and today we're going to be discussing the differences between squarebill crankbaits, normal crankbaits, and lipless crankbaits. Let's get started with the squarebill. So, in this little bunch of crankbaits, I'm just going to pick one, talk to you about it randomly. Of course, I'm going to pick one, then talk to you about it, and then the advantages, disadvantages, and go on. So let's get started. I'm just going to pick this one. This is a sexy shad colored striking crankbait. These are really nice crankbaits. I love squarebills because the squarebills usually will face down like this, and they go like crazy, or at least this brand of striking. That's pretty much the pattern they go in. They kind of go up, and then they flip to the side. But when they get into the rocks, they're pretty much almost weedless. They hit rocks, and they bounce off like this. The bill always hits it first, so it'll just bounce off. They hit weeds. They might get snagged on the weeds with the hooks, but usually the bill hits it, and then they'll just go right around it. So in all, I would rate these crankbaits, or at least this one personally because of the color too, 9 out of 10. Now, let's go over and discuss normal crankbaits. So here's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So right here we have 9 crankbaits. Let's just grab a random one. DT6. Slide the others over. Now DT6 crankbaits. This one just happens to be a bluegill pattern. Yet again randomly, so I don't know what to say now, but DT6s is a really great crankbait. They're in the normal category because they don't have a square bill or they're not lipless. So I put them in the normal category. They dive about 6 feet deep. That's why they are the 6, not the 4 or 10. And this kind of crankbait's Rapala. But the thing about these is they kind of go just as crazy. But the thing I like about square bills more is these run into weeds, they get snagged, you're done. The only thing that's better on these is that other than the fact that they aren't weedless, they're they're like weed magnets. Let's just call them that. But they are pretty crazy baits. These ones shake more. They have the bigger bill. They make a crazier action on your rod tip. If you're trolling for pike, which I don't, because I'm a bass fisherman, so I prefer square bills more. But if you're ever going for pike, I would throw out almost a normal crankbait more than anything. Last but not least, for sure not least, squarebill. I only have 3 squarebill in this. Oh God. Well, now I only have 2. But let's just discuss about the striking. This is another sexy shad pattern, just like the squarebill sexy shad pattern. Lipless crankbaits, these are smally magnets right here. I would go with largies. I would never throw a lipless compared to I would for a squarebill or a normal. But these things whack the smallies. I pretty much almost jig these really hard. I'll let them sink to the bottom, and I'll really rip it hard, like 6 feet off the bottom. I'll set it like I'm setting the hook. And I want it to get that high so it has a longer presentation in the air, and when it dives down, it still flashes. So it's going to give that big flash out that the fish love to see. This one is a red eye striking. As you can see, the big bold red eye, and that's pretty much its main biggest feature. It has that big eye on it, and that's going to catch the fish attention, and I just love this one. This is by far my favorite crankbait in all. The category is not quite my favorite, but favorite crankbait. And another good advantage to these, other than the fact that they are pretty weed proof because the head always dives first before the hooks. So the hooks will pick up some debris on the bottom, but not nearly as much as normal crankbaits such as DT6s, but not as weedless as crankbaits such as the sexy shad color or squarebill striking. So these are really nice crankbaits. I prefer, out of all the categories, I would throw a squarebill first if I'm fishing areas with lots of weeds or rocks. If there's no weeds at all and there's just rocks, I would actually throw one of these guys out first because smallies love rocks. And even largemouth, if you just hit these off the bottom, they will crush this bait. So rocks, I would just plain rocks, throw these. Lipless. If there's a mixture between weeds and rocks or just weeds, throw these. Throw these if there's a drop off, especially because that would get this fish attention because it's so crazy. And pretty much less weeds. Throw a normal one. And that sums up today's video for you guys, or one of today's videos. I might post another one describing the differences between tubes and craw tubes. So you might want to look at that one. Keep up, leave a like, subscribe for more, and talk to you later. Bye.